this is David Dusek, Senior Writer with Golfweek magazine, and welcome once again to the Winner's Circle. Henrik Stenson not only won the 2013 Tour Championship at Eastlake on Sunday evening, he also won the overall 2013 FedEx Cup, and pocketed $11.4 million in so doing. Let me take you inside the Swede's golf bag and explain to you a little bit about the clubs and the equipment he used to get the job done. Stenson's driver is a TaylorMade SLDR with 10.5 degrees of loft and a Grafalloy Blue X shaft. His fairway woods were a Callaway Diablo Octane Tour with 13 degrees of loft and a Callaway X Hot Pro with 17 degrees of loft, and both of those also had Grafalloy Blue X shafts. His irons are Callaway Legacy Black irons, 3-through pitching wedge there, with Nippon Pro Modus 3 120X shafts. His wedges are Cleveland 588 RTX, a 52 and a 58 degree, and those both had Nippon Pro Modus 120X shafts. His putter is a Piretti Cottonwood 2 prototype, and Henrik Stenson's ball is a Titleist Pro V1x. It's interesting to note that Henrik Stenson on Friday not only shot 66 at Eastlake, he shot 66 using only 13 golf clubs. You see, before the start of the round, Stenson noticed that the very top portion of the face on his Callaway 4-wood happened to be sort of burst in, or it sort of indented in very slightly, and he noticed that because he hit a couple of shots it didn't sound quite right, and after inspecting the club he happened to notice the face was sort of indented in. He took the club out of play and had his trainer put it back into his locker, so he only played with 13 golf clubs. Now it's interesting to note also that had Stenson carried the club, not used it, but simply carried the club in his bag to complete the set and used 14 clubs, he would have incurred a 2-shot penalty for carrying a non-conforming club or a knowingly damaged club. Had he used the club in competition, he would have been disqualified and obviously then lost out not only on the Tour Championship win, but all that money, the $11 million. So really a good sort of solid move. If you damage a club during the normal course of play, you're able to sort of continue carrying it. Obviously you don't want to use it because you know it's not going to conform and it probably wouldn't work out pretty well for you anyways. But if you knowingly bring a non-conforming or a broken club into your bag and use it in competition under the rules of golf, you do incur then a disqualification. Another interesting thing about Stenson's equipment choices at Eastlake were that he put a new driver into the bag very recently after winning the Deutsche Bank Championship with a TaylorMade R1. He switched to TaylorMade's SLDR, or slider, driver, in this case with 10.5 degrees of loft, whereas he had 9 degrees of loft in the R1. Now the main differences are that the slider, the SLDR again, has a sliding 20-gram weight that goes along the bottom of the sole that brings not only the center of gravity down but slightly forward when compared with the R1. According to TaylorMade, by moving the center of gravity forward, it actually increases ball speed and lowers spin rate, something that for professional golfers is really good, that combination of high launch, low spin. Now to get the higher launch, Stenson went up in loft. So again, from 9 degrees to 10.5 degrees of loft, that's how he's getting that higher initial launch angle, lowered spin, increased ball speed. That's the whole idea. So where we, according to TaylorMade, have for a long time been going with low CG and back, TaylorMade is trying to go low CG and forward, increasing the loft that's on the golf club to give you the launch angle, and they've had a lot of success with that. Obviously also the SLDR's 20-gram weight goes towards the heel and the toe to give you a little bit more draw and a fade bias depending on exactly where you put it, and you still have a sleeve that allows you to adjust the loft by plus or minus about 1.5 degrees from the initial loft that you purchased. So interesting that even though he's been one of the hottest players all summer and was very successful in one with the TaylorMade R1, that Stenson decided to go with the TaylorMade SLDR driver in winning at Eastlake. Thanks for joining me inside the Winner's Circle once again. This is David Dusek for Golfweek magazine.